him say obituary
ebusuan kakra bit na fie
we susa bi a oko Commercialization central marketer gate no ya chiche gate 1 gate 2 dru ha ya dia boho we na free mu a na che say ya te say papa ya free mu so what ya
yes
and ya yi sa ne ma the boho kra na e be sa be 1 week na be bonsa
yes
enti me de personally me feel say e de ahochire ba manfo ebi mu uhia bi mu a genuinely ultimately say asem da omoso am I your for I don't want to talk about it because imagine say we manage a whole constituency only a year kokora bi or sometimes 5 bi or 10 there's no way na what we be twam only a year ko let's say we be a member of parliament or dem no until no announce assembly member for the area obeko a year
sure
ahemfo ebeko a year pressure no so enti menim se nkrase ni bi so also almost aye no say bosome bi ano munye omkabo mo nya no bosome no kra na ye kakra
yes
so bi abeko
omka ye ni na bom it's true
no my ne kakra ka fantifo no na ye ne sapa ntia no say no okwa eya na silver collection no utimi say wa utimi chiche scan omo so nsa abode ne wo form
eya anye bebre
de be wo form
ebusuan bi asi ni table
what the 30 cedis tum kra okokra
but no MP 30 cedis dey waso be she at least anya 500
oh but omo kra MPs no omo ntuasa omo teacher NDC for MPs omo monsa kra so the mention it a problem me if you say horses say e ho asem den eka o ba gra no or the 100 cedi no ko ba ye ho runtimi nya sade no oh the bench no timi nya sade eti
ayen common dey o say ehwe ni
ayen common dey obi yes na ye man pen for them
it's too much
ayaka dan eno ne me problem
it's too much
hey eno ne me
because you know unkra for your a moderate a year come no what 100,000 no
there be say ye ba because say o man hene papa free mu
yes
na obi nkan kire expenses a wo ye just say utimi say wa boka anwumre na sa wo say nyina utimi say e ka no de kofi so ho de meche no enti sa ne ma we nyina no say ye nyina ne ya hwe kwa e be fa so a ye bete so a megitum say emboa wo bia eye ade a me de mesre ni tichu eye ahemfo ye nananom
yes
omoma ye nwini ho bio say yesre ye ba be jam abusuan no ne wo ya be ba abusuan ka oh ye be jam abusuan no nyese ya me no so nkire say mass ye no menya mamero e ke no man obe ka se kolezade ni sika se mo forma na dabi mass ye ni de
obe ye de wo so ye
papa oga otu adua nyina me de be kwa edwenu so de mencha no just ni nyina ye ka ya kwa kokoko for the ababa beto yes
at least me no main funeral no de untimi nya ho hwe bebre but 1 week no me empe kwa bi ne nko back to how na 1 week no but first na ye fie na matena se kakra bi na ma she date
na ye place call
yes na ma she date
e bi ho kra na ba foforo kra de na aye announcement
yes
radio station
yes
so mo de ba
yes
ye do funeral announcement boy be 50 ye be bobo ne kama what you be kaka
and na say 1 week ka me ko Kumasi no ja 1 week na ye the difference ni mu
oh na bi kra de 1 week ne ba chen ye no e bi kra 1 week ne ba chen ye no say ye bi o ho a obu o ho a wono so no say de can business
yes
and say abode beba dwom no share school dem ho no so te fetchiri in discipline so dem chen maya ni bia che say utimi hu say or this can beba dwom amabusu na nya bia kra no share school dan bia chi o na je say o mo bo fetchiri me wa so no abusuan atonam ene ensa o mo de ye enu say suba born ni so free ne fa so hu dem chen it is an yema no ani nyina ye in discipline me jitum say emma chese areho aya na bata ho eni nipa no se de ebesi
ya free ho
chese
areho bi ani mu
bi ade na free ho oho enti ye bese se yensusu fa pressure emra yenso bibi kakra bi obi de beba se bi a mensa abode ni na busua de ni giasom enye chechinchina nipa no obonsa o se o koma na brochensa what the meche and no so kra so mu yi
and say was sign to a man for a baby, you know, is also package gifts.
Of course.
Says yes, here gift be to be a baby bon somewhere be a branded mug be some pens. I mean, complete waste of
now. Is it no packaging is also no honorable and also so drew and the same. Now I'm saying no so and say such a dear penny. Oh, the mechano. Penny walk on you hanky, I shall say now the coffee. Nina say this kind of toy. Ain't in our cell castle bushing a woman and go. So be a drew an air, the man no is a woman and go. Problem.
Oh, Charlie, there should be. I was here before. It's too much.
Funerals in this country.
It's too much. It's
too much. To a day corner.
It's too much.
Not then they say ye ba chinchine bi mo kobo busia. Why must it be?
No, mudi aye.
Na banksy e loni ye no kra family no. What is the meche no? Family no. Oh ba ye hwe. Ye hwe busia panyini no ye hwe na say na ntuma na ni anwa bebre ba eno sa ye no kra no busia ne mfa mamo eno so e ba busia panyini pese e busia ne hwe se ye bepe ntuma ni da ho ama no because odi ani mu
akwaje loan
what did they mention just say ya de nyema bi adakaka
they say adaka no na say adaka ne kra no 500 million
I'm telling you
400 million.
Oh, say a standard. Your normal. And no, oh, he coffin now. Utimi who say, we dear.
Ejina na nice.
I who e be or e be a fetching be.
Yeah.
So on the mecha. E be also so. Utimi say bench pa ni abone 4. So on the mecha no. Obi kan chira say busuan no papa. Just say. A problem, a problem. But say, yeah, you know, we got a competition. Yeah, people feel said there be a no, ye be a me call.
Adaka umu yusui. Listen, na ukusi will be Wadaka 500 million. If no Adaka. Wow.
Let's say 50,000 now, okay.
Yeah, 50,000.
Oh, now say be dear travel more than that. Hey, now me my witness here, yeah, Adaka no koano ne worth more than $15,000. What you saying? No, there be 1.5. You're saying
1.5
billion, which is
1.5 billion.
150,000
Ghana cedis.
150,000 Ghana cedis. Yes. In dollar
terms, around 10,000, 12,000. And you have to see, I say 13 today, 11, 12,000 dollars.
11,000. Adaka. You didn't pano. Ekwa tuma koshe form. So the mecha Adaka na ko twan for nyini say ya. Aso ya de kwa koshe form.
Oh, something has to be done.
I'm telling you. Oh,
I don't know how, but Charlie, I was here before. Because I mean, year expenses now too much, and especially Okoye no how crowd the end, and I just say, I'm not saying.
Approach for no so pressure almost. Me can say look because almost pressure almost because all man fa mafia. You interfere for intimi pia there no. And a business and a cost. A business. It and
banks so most of banks is see banks never set table who no man agents and say loan now they are the table beba. And it's also in their interest say ye ni na be grand it won't be instigate shit oh mo meje kakra bi fa ye na man for ba bon sawan now they are talk ka be wi na ka buburu na no so de abusua man so obi amu na nanim
ultimately omo na ehwe ska no so basa we abusua panyin na say no sia ne bonus banks no e fada kano sika adaka sika na
no mo de
now you must show so mo de meche no because what you say omo de ade ni nyina ko eno susu free eno cry so my pressure hypertension
oh
I just say ya the problem atu ye ho so and pano we are seeing no a stage obia no obeka obia will leave
oh
one day intino udru wa na wa perform e de ne aboy sem na papa oko ne abom pa ye se nyankopon onfa okra ensie yi oh
eno obi allow unisika wo se kontomre eye mojadru
yes
intie bia amanfo wo sika no mo ye
da bi anya wo sika na wo wono de wo ye no oh ye pese ye ya ade a sebi obi a ho beton say no nchese wo sika of course ye new say nsati anyepe but what I'm suggesting is say ye drag ade na in such a way say e ba be ye say ase mumu anye bia
watom
What on them is that
and the uncomfortable
exactly a honor person yen influence and yoshe. Na young jai pressure so uncomfortable the two sir ebusuani son. But ebusuani be in fact, any more thing. Ebusuani be omo pokanopi mi ensakura utimi se oma yade. So na me check. Because invitation kra no din so betimi dia kwa bontini. Enye enough for mo. Yeah, can say enough for. Encrophobia also so almost so the any say weekend no we front to kama. Bu wa tomato dey no wa pam kama. Or the full ekoto obi.
Eye so.
Every faka da bia
onim nipa no kra.
Da bia onim nipa no. Obehu so peja ne sa wo ye na se. Aya oje aduane. Some of them e chen. Eti sa suban boni we nyina no na menhwe se yenyim free o. Societal pressure no. Ye ka ho asem.
And according level so we are watching so okay media me ye busua ye sika sem nie and we are cutting our coat according to our size a man for best remove it won't mean gazo ye de hwe sika ho ne de ye bibi kakra bi problem especially man for ba show obituary notice na ebo no mu se chale e bia children we US of A we Canada we GMPC we and one man for form opinion about abusu and you obey ye na or expect a certain standard
of course say abusu ya dia broche for ne go politicians
aboche for so be na ye din ne keke de wo ho
dem abusuan panyini so dem echen abusuan bi okra na o hwe obituary o hwe a public notice na o hwe o kinkan ya otimi se abusuan ne bre so dem echen no obi enough for mo otimi se abusuan ne bre because teacher ni no da mu o yin so no listen so no pressure that teacher ni so no enough for it is anyama we nyina no say ya regulating ye na ya ma de na anya normal sabi ye kan advanced countries most of some countries in yan abusuan no mu jowa bezi a left coffin no Ekosiisen ya ne de akwa wura mu se mokra mu nso mbi mu gina ho a motini so keto bia na masore wona moko
obi ankodi aduane bia
yenu anu nkramofo nzo de ne F champion omo de dade ento ye kan hye mu sei dade no de afa nipa be 100 so de meche no e de moko
ye do ko ye no anu no
ado ko eno anu no
nya firo bi e di aduane na buffet bia
enkoto adaka huhu bia because ade na say so ayen tontwe
I was here share hu bi
a problem
I was here share hu bi I was here share hu bi
I'm telling you
chale the pressure a year the babusu here bi so no
me have seen some people la
it's too much
weekend no mo person mo ko ye no mo ni skento mo nko o person ko na danfo na ye but o ko a ye bebo ni dini ye so announce a funeral announces ye business udru ani esi cross honorable Collins aba ye ya seketu ye nya introduce sa pe se wo ye wadwen se okotua 500 or se 1000 because your boy say mo ye na se ma ni nyina business it the pressure it honorable di nani monyam ebe ko no no asoma ti ye bebre wo se ankempi na yi nani meba beta o di ni aid no asoma omo na constituency secretaries omo so de omo nim sa aboche microphobia so de mechen with for microphone no abejo no honorable say it is any money nyina ye be wie no na pressure no ko na down pressure I think the of the firm I believe say it is high time we took a decision on this very issue.
I agree.
Na ye nyina ye nka say okay yate ye nim say obi na be kire said obi mfa so nya na ye na emumu no aye no say ne e be ya enkowie enkofa ka chichire de meto abusuan ne so na lead to corruption say ni no say moye no modi bi ka ho a
wa wasem
sanye e o say ye no na I know because I'm telling you competition wo funeral mun you have no idea and funeral politics you're more suicidal.
We say Obi, the funeral market, like any other market, survives because of the dynamics of demand and supply. The family acts as producers who incur costs. Given the current economic climate in which prices keep rising, per attendee cost also has risen. Hence, the most recent shenanigans. Funeral organizers must recover cost or break even and where possible make profit. Bereaved family lives matter. They must eat. Atik Muhammad. Where's the Obi? If you are a Muslim and you die, the only thing the family will be thinking about is a white cloth of about 3 to 5 yards. The rest is history. The longer period you would stay is 3 to 4 hours. You are buried and gone. All what the family can do for you is prayers, and soon you are forgotten. Master Planner Junior, Ewo Kintampo. We say Obi. Funeral matters ne dear. Matao. Prince Henry, Ewo Kufuridia. We say Obi. We shouldn't forget that funeral is part of our rich culture, so we should preserve it and do it with pride. Last respect to the departed soul is very, very necessary. I was so happy spending on my father's funeral. Really? Okro Yaboa, Ewo Breman, Benin.
When you pass it, you say, ya mompa ya mana. Said ye ne papa de no. Ne wo fatuwa no hweze wo fatuaso. Odi de meche no. Enya sem papa no test papa no de ba. Oti de meche no. Ye hwe kwan ye be fa so a. Ade na ha ye nyina no. Wosi a wo no de ba betum ama ade na ye fefe bi. Oti de meche no. Why na ka say nipa na wo no only last respect or deserve last respect.
O name say Honorable Collins Adomako Mensa.
Oh yes.
Say Obi. Now, if you don't organize a dinner after the funeral, you did nothing. Oh. Funeral tourism at its peak. 400,000 Ghana cedis at least.
Yes.
And also, over the weekend, it was even difficult to get accommodation in Kumasi.
I'm telling you.
Now, and a normal funeral, 400,000 Ghana cedis. 4 billion.
Obi, me say, a better what the problem. A better way a problem. You know, say.
And then traditional you are better off say everyone say o ma me na papa ni efri kroki to amu a then ko en we kura na say no take kan so kakra on na say obe wo kuma se fie
e ba wo koye ne kura na se kura be hwe nearby town bi a hotel bi ho because penfo bi wo say
o so nya papa bi ma wo
obi wo kura so a o so manida because obi wo ho a e kwan ne wa o te dem eche no ni nyina no e additional cost eti no yan hwe kwan bi so Ebeboa. Because me a living witness to a asima making. And crophobia me and Casamidi many who what's our problem no. And there are many. There are many because of what me who say Adiana Bano. Why cry need do when Marco Pebosia at the home? And no see a problem. And no see a problem. Funerals
are not solemn events anymore. I learned of the Bonyo party after funerals. And Obi, if you happen to witness one, you would cry for the deceased. Godi and on the way abantiere no yene de whether we
and now you did something.
Yes.
No na mo ye bibi about. Me fan say agents of socialization and am discuss. Yes. Say eye asudie kese. Aban won asudie. Family as an institution one asudie. Religious
institutions or media.
Sure. Media.
Sure.
Asudie. Yes. It is a social issue now we discussing. Na me o baby. And no more multi. They were so happy. Because almost say na ye can same beer. That is the reality. But I had to say you found and bebro minus bre busianse bre kroni so ase. But we feel say normal and normal agents of socialization I was here my because when you talk about moral decadence we all know say your moral fiber no a conform all because obinka obi asem say o man nim obinka obi asem kane aye yesusa udi agro kra na panyini ba ujai agro no e de ne niam akofie ansa no abeto aso edi agro but ene no obi ntia obi ba. So in discipline no media me feel say people must be held responsible and accountable at every level. But ye jaya near the abeso ampenifo uno bi e kasa na ampenifo no de na ampenifo no ye e de na ampenifo no ye family now we need our responsibility as family head. What you think that bonny a jaw ma be good community ni am ma be ye problem am I we are nowadays so born a teacher for what is the channel?
Yes.
Peer pressure or bad company no them. You've kept quiet. Problem no. Also now who blame teachers. And then the teacher for no so be teacher for be so about compromise. Teacher near or no. It do weekend na club no chess or no cry and you cry microphone.
Oh.
What to them channel? Then the students not joining.
Oh.
And it's so sad. Say yeah witnesses are near my way now. Ain't you know a name and shame. We are bonny or my way back on any mas I know say your bow din your bow bonny. Oh yeah penina sa but you can't in our boom. Says I buy it to me. Oh Nana Kufadra buy. John Mahama buy. It will be your tea buying him. Now you say a bat a diatema a nanado ne conso. No, Obi, one body sector by sector, agency by agency. Obi did someone in here, you see who say, now you can't want some. Oh, they feel like no, they are no difference about them. Because that's how people see the whole thing. No, after all, yeah, MPP are buying. Oh, and now MPP for nye. Maybe MPP, yes, MPP for nye. Ediana Mayo,
Omodi Afra Munina.
Hasty
generalization.
So for me, Sadia no see a heho. Na ye who say responsibility there. Say ye the idea ma say ya. Ye Emma obi who say
only the share one sa one away.
Exactly. That's ye be two nina egum.
Very well, Mate. Honorable Medase, somebody sent a message. I say Obi, a well-respected family name. That's the Hesse family in Osu. For them, there is always no 1 week. They only do the burial day, and even after the burial, they would pack all their chairs and everybody goes home. Into Omono and no. That is their family. Najiatum and no. We say Obi, funeral drone videos. In the end, I won't say drone. Or the funeral drone videos, 15,000 Ghana cedis.
I just said, yeah,
drone videos. Yeah, now I bet you freezing.
Or grassy kind. A boku bem. I mean, what is wrong with us as people?
Moi, the funeral.
Oh, a funeral could be say, a funeral can a horse say, bodyguard confirm, yeah, in a sifo. I don't some of the Abia share a bed, Nancy, on the funeral, a canoe, I don't go, and almost so disco light. What is happening? I say, Adiana, yeah, you know, I quiet to say, Dipanum be, I am an a broso. It is a minor. Fano and she said, I dare not say, I dare not broso. Nay, Jaya, a benya problem.
I say, on my deference, and you may be on my back. We have here.
Or your footballer.
No, yeah, back with the goalkeeper. Yeah, or your goalkeeper now. Or my goal post, Ewonechi. Any other than what's in is. And I'm more.
Where's the back? Be say, DJ.
And
DJ, they said you to ya. Now after some the next console, and she say ya na a initiation as soon. If no, and she said, "Ultimate say a whole and a penny for so about oh." For a footballer, no my year. What that kind of say football?
Yeah, so then drone videos can now to 15,000 actually. It's some way. Fred Agbanya cancer ewa only a parliamentary candidate man DC ewo Guan constituency. Nati Bongo or Santa Maria. I'll say Obi funeral issues in Ghana now. You go explain tire Charlie and easy. We say Obi, it depends on what the person left behind. Those are what the family look on to do the funeral. Example, if you come with something, you go with something, and you come with nothing, you go with nothing. Ni from Teshi, Nedie, and no. Fusaini Salif for Kaswa Zango, and he says, Obi, you shouldn't talk about only the funeral, but spending huge money on keeping the body in a mortuary for so many years. They are all not good. Honorable Colin should use his in-laws' funeral to set an example. Charity begins at home.
Oh, but I also just Dominic Bar, me mano, son.
Dear, what's our demand?
But what I'm saying is, and your money will bet market cost.
Yeah,
because
it's true.
A be Hoyana,
and
because I don't have deep pressure no ever.
Mate, Fred, I quite better saying.
Obi, Yamina Domo, now say,
Yamia Domo, Constituency Boko.
Oh, wait a minute, Boko. Go and call a republic on its own. So it's a nation within a nation. We've been abandoned by Ghana.
Oh,
kasasa.
I'm a cancer saying.
Kasasa na national budget no ye de bi ko. De kasa ansem no. Ade wo moti space ana. Asa be na wo kan
say men kasa bi man.
Man en fa na asem ntudwa.
Anyway, my feel.
Nso me nua o.
We be first debate, but then in the year you.
Oh wow.
Collins.
Union build okay.
Union build make up
Ole gone. Oh okay.
Obi. Enti e ho de sheda nya bokosa. But almost much jam.
Eji omoso.
Se mu refri omo kwa de a.
Oh, you rain fee.
Se Sandro go fifo akpa fofo lobi to ne league before. Se Ghana for refri omo a. Almost omo ti ase. Eba se me nua Dwonkuma anya bibi ko yi. No be a frame say na say ya critical say my ya na say anya by election preko. Ana e de nka ho ana. And I'm saying oji wa wanti ase. Me say ko bi kura mpodo ma trokrata kwada ko letter commission but usual. Ya fa anya hwe. Ti say ya fa ne say ya destiny no. Nyame bo ana 7 December bana ya nyina koto aba e bi na akoto bi.
Yeah.
Enti na wie de e den check say to the man the incoming president. President John Dramani Mahama. Nyame bo akina ye nyina ye call UPSA,
yes.
Hona ye koda ye mame. The first vice president, female vice president Ghana Benya. Nyame bo next year ye koda nedi. Ache Ghana for ni wiase for nyina.
Okay.
Ye mame de sabi enya the Ghana for president e pa ba kenti oba be kana go fa. Wa wo hwe ne track record a. Ana mo bi am be metu so to be.
Okay.
And I say fata. So Timbe, you know, say the first female vice chancellor in a public university.
University.
That's right. And also anyone wants to be the first vice.
Professor Amadolphin no then.
Amadolphin no a pro vice chancellor.
Yeah. And China yen na ni chire UPSA ho. E na ko decide bi adwumadie no. Ne ye ko share ye ko nyama bebre as a party mpanifo. And I want to show our party people say we are leaving those stone on 10. Obian bright in the corner be omubia. So your branch executive you're huna wa famudia.
Okay.
We are council executive you're huna ya udia. Regional executive you're home. Adebako pe entina na ye koyeba. And it's a Ghana for ajatum say President Mahama Juma pano obeye twemu na wenwie. Na ye de kasa bebre ne trone ntwato so edi ni free hono. Ombra no be wie na edwuma no. Anka no kwan ni pepe danka obeye den. But Ghana for to friend na on the make us omba. Okay. Enti nyina yen boy homo de bia say be ya 7 December dre ko to aba. Ghana for beto aba ndama no. Obi mi be na metie nkomo amudi. Na menu ya Collins akasa bebre mo nyina amafa send messages. Nipa da sane bia over 3 days in your life. Nipa da sane bia.
Obi say Mary Chenry Hesse sorry no e dey.
Mary Chenry Hesse
no a chancellor.
No.
Sir.
Oh yeah. Chair of the University Council. Chairperson of the University Council.
Yeah, you can check those ones.
Yes.
Yeah, Chancellor of University of Ghana.
No, a Chancellor.
Yeah.
Of the University of Ghana.
Yes. Chancellor is different.
The Chancellor, yeah.
Like ceremonial position, like
Asante in
yeah, it's a ceremonial position.
At the point that Kofi Annan the Chancellor of University of Ghana.
That's right.
After Oyeman Rekwampim and about Kofi Annan and
the vice chancellor is like
the vice chancellor is the CEO
of the university on daily basis.
But in terms of hierarchical order, no the
Chancellor is up.
Exactly. It's me person me say me mama no say dey
become asem crowd distracting.
Because so call chancellor.
But I was very specific say.
What the any advice will be a chancellor.
Female vice
chancellor.
And I say chancellor be so bad.
I don't know how long they get this.
What say?
Na say gakra me kan na say what you go pay Collins.
No, but I think what Prof Jane did, they say onutime be a vice chancellor no. Ebie kwan ama ene for the first time in
Ghana. And I say no why vice chancellor. Now you chancellor.
Ono your
Oba
agreed.
Sana person say.
And you be a
chancellor net nasia. Oba. na ono
it's not part of the day-to-day running of the university. It's purely ceremonial.
Graduation.
Okay. After Jane Bayer, Vice Chancellor of UCC, and the Kenyan University or Bar Chancellor, Legon or Bar Chancellor, which is
no, it's
really
good.
Touchbearer, be it done to another Banema. May I short of the Vice President, several of them will follow. Obi, Nina Mekan, but you may target me. I'm sure the father maybe 3 days in his life.
Yes.
The first day, my analysis, and it die.
Okay.
As I say so.
Okay.
I bet no man to die out during the Kahuna and Cranford friends at Pojemo. Na Sawatina and Cran community muda. Say, yeah, man, probably about your Queba Bukumaria near Sick Pojemo.
Outdoor really a big deal.
It's big deal. It can take the whole night.
Outdooring,
I'm telling you. Pojemo and fan diagro cry. A big deal among the guns in that particular area. The second day, no ni power brabum any da worry.
Oh worry.
Aware your friend diagro. A big when you de cry. Yeah, no money, you know, that's a day everybody celebrating you.
Sure.
The sad and the good news, ni say. And the last day ni da obi. I had the dawa to a museum. Of all these 3 days, the only day we are available physically. You can participate in the event.
Warrior.
Sure. Tem now ya kola ne kosina uhunhwe. Da o da also uhunhwe. Enta warrior de no na pa de owum kese yi ba.
Na mpena twen so e.
Impancho de say enye you.
Na say no there be say the osi kind. Say no na wo ankasa physical odu hunhwe. No mo twen plan no mo for mo hunhwe man.
Say enye sa no okay.
No person say.
Or can the event, the marriage event.
Okay.
And now do
that's a transition in one warrior on one. 3 stages no one warrior. Okay. Well they make it case ma soja for no mo ofia. So when they mention. Soja for mo na tie kire o.
Soja ni bi ani.
So that team in the soja for. Dominic na worry.
Dominic Awari Chuma Awari.
Chuma Awari bi Awari.
Chuma Awari, what ma worry?
Oh yeah, Chuma Awari about 3 years ago.
Hey, why ba? Kai.
It tells it all about who we are as a people and what our priorities are. They be a make say leaders are as of mine. They are not from space.
Yeah.
Almost free Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And the people we have groomed within the society.
Sure.
They eventually take up their leadership. Yeah. And your orientation, your belief system, your culture, and your exhibit, even our governance system.
Me too, pa.
And Seba na say, Unanati Krasi. Adesakre biana, maybe obedana so to nyambinda. Ebia sebi anajude ejina bia kra abruwa na abab abruwa no kra no so bed na tia ko dru e ho na enye easy ebia santa de be che bia na obenye di kra no na idea ma no sa abruwa tofem no wu a na ko du na yi ase a na bia abruwa we yi na ye ne se ya ofite be dru wi a nipa na ko te some misfit structure bi mu no me boom me sit down kese
ya be penti sese ya
penti sino kama and I'm so we ye be ye and it's all about our priorities me tie sabi me abewu me amiewu me yamba ma wono kra we obida so I've gone through mass me papa o me mamiu I've seen all this about funerals but I say I could society now asset up standard be their tour. And they have an expectation of you.
Yeah.
It's as if opeo. You have to meet that expectation. In Canada, you come the body especially in politics. The policy honorable tea. So Kokuma send there. Not now I-10, not in the car. I think you be dinu pan. na wakot na bamo so for bamo did VAT bamo the way ba wo dey hwe I turn out na okon no go see 2-bedroom house bi a man for 6-story like akese no wo dey hwe ne wo ba bi hwe ne pabo abi e hwe no shatade bi e hwe no.
And those same people will complain about corruption.
So the society
boss
you up in the corner. You need to measure up.
No travel. I want to Pakistan for you.
What I say?
That the mission bed 3 days.
You need to measure up. You need to. But the same people.
Yeah.
And I make sure Mr. Ibu. Oh, sorry, what I'm only the bar movie. I'm saying Mr. Ibu never no. I'm going bicycle.
Yeah, I'm going bicycle no.
Pay fan about bicycle so you chance. Mr. Ibu so timi edi o. Me no do na want bicycle.
But I'm say bicycle.
Say bicycle last day. I say me ba. Sinami twi bicycle na engo. I go shanda group people. Hey, apa utimi edi o. I'm collect nam fem na go papa pay na out bicycle so. I say mama sin emi nu na.
Da o musi ye no ma akola ne tena bike na no nante. O musi ye no musi akola wu mu ade. O papa akokre nante na wa akola.
Na comfort zone.
And if you jai bicycle,
bicycle na e problem to na that dey go. Sana it's that is the story. That is the story of our society. That is the total story. Now be ye bia. Almost you na we o sin say akoko bi keke.
Aduane kra wa ama aduane mpo. Obi empo anya aduane.
Ese ko na eyi na se yenye bibia mpo endi o.
Abrochefo pa mo ye basa.
Abrochefo pa perform timu ye den. Nso kroman servibi. Obetimi ka kra se omo by sachet water anko na serve you but o telebi amba. Na so bi be yi. Na wa men ho. Anya bi afan 2 bag home.
Anko fia.
Men kan fan tema me for no be. But yeah, they are not akogina nche na yes na wo hwe. Everade, am handbags no.
Ebi mu black poly bag, a bag umbi ye jini atete.
Obo jejeje ni kunu wo fe die.
Onim de we a,
woman be wo jeje ni kunu a wa ma ye ni bi die.
Me de beka,
aden die na wo ji ni wi.
Me de beka nkaifo eye. Nkaifo eye ba na ekosie nipa ne wi. Na ebe ye a. Se adamfo.
Yeah.
Se ye busuan.
Yeah.
Obi aba no, omo kromo aduane.
Okay.
Obi a yen den fini fie, on ne crofo.
Oh, that's the.
Yes, and to ban ma set am table. Na mo pese made na menom no, mo de aba mo imachis abesi ho.
And no e cow on the busuan no.
A car on the family.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And for me, it makes sense.
It makes sense. Obi na say no de wo kra wa yibda. Ye nya say ayibda.
And it makes sense.
O me kwa Western region here. Ye kwa ye aduane ko. You need pass and vandivo me dokono so still ye de aduane ko.
Aduane mu de na de ko.
Oh, me the rice ko.
Aduane.
Rice.
Aduane ya de ko.
Rice ne na ma ya che. Come on.
Aduane ya de ko.
Me boot urefi.
We are sure. Say aduane.
Biza ya bo am.
You from moment. And you be. Omo de no so hwe a. Enti ebusuan bi aba, omo kro mo ice chest. Say yen sanse aduane, omo ba no set omo table no mote. Obi so setting dia ha, obi so setting dia ha. Ense busuane kra be aduane kra kekre bi.
Yeah.
Am be am for motu kwan free
ba.
Enne onye yi a. Hotel se wo ompotem onyina.
E wo se wo gine nyina.
Wo gine nyina. Because wadan ofo ba.
Nipa na obi je wa yi no, especially wo so be se amani baby ada. That dey na party chale na here somewhere.
Acha obi, baby obeda.
That thing.
Obi bedu edie na say canopy na ejina okra no. The design the
obehwe canopy first. Canopy that be.
Company come de ani bia na say flat top.
Ba na nye ke bedu ana say una service
na agro bi na odi.
Is agro.
What I say? Enti no it's about priority. Meanwhile, efie na ye say ye we nyina no. Onkola bi ho a
e come dey
go school. Onkola bi ho be no go sua adwuma say e pam ade kra. Obi e ko sana agreement ama no obi ni ho. Obi yare kra that them ho. Na ka pay drive be ko hospital. Something happened several years ago. One of them, I will not give the full details. Doctor Anuko woke up in hospital. Obi yare. That says this hernia operation.
Yes.
And I call no or you treating your operation in Navy. Papa no turn. A butcher from first camera no me in there. First camera. I don't do a panic to Nifi. No, I inform family and they say Papa New.
Oh.
Thank you. Papa New amende. They na do ma fe ye na da ko akosie no. Ko hwe ho brass ne ho kasa ya to dia ba nyina. Obedru ya papa na apamata de white tata ma na oti ho aye bi na pa na ti ho si. Oh. Enti most come de be high brass pa ya sanya me nyina. Akofefu ekosie no.
Na me da ha obi
ba me da na me yare ke me to edru eke na me wa to me no. Eno de obi edi ebusuan no be ye. Obi edi ebusuan ni. Hwe
abusuan adofo no.
Obi I think say there's something that is going on. We are copying the West blindly. And it's affecting the fiber, the moral fiber of our society. Now say me come obi na go school. Obi those days in college go school, primary schools, whatever it is. Ube sorry free fear in them. Those days pipes in the hole. Ube call reverse and I sense. Say 2-3 times they are be fee. We are. Ube call school come na amount plot. Ada say ya do anasa
pra.
Ube kwa pra. Asa be fee. Abedwara didi. Asa ko school for 8 o'clock. Call you later. You be shomba. Yeah. You know could even school compound cry. Sen collaborate no. Almost say child abuse.
Hey, who is the adult?
And you see, and it doesn't make sense to me. Secondary schools. Na free idea a champ or they buy operation feed yourself. When those of us like surgical school. Never an operation. Almost every school,
school garden,
school farm.
Sure. Yeah, punishment.
Every call like at least anti eho na my son the way yen nkoko. My son the way ye beans. Your son the way yen katie. Obi right from secondary school me na me ye kwadwuma. Anytime be amenye be na me ye kwadwuma. As I sit here, I'm still doing farming. Because me be developing interest be a womb. Na na what me call me chrome fan say akpafo say tech. Now, as I say, go be primary school. The school largely supposed to be an agricultural institution, more or less. Now the whole school.
Want me feed them all?
Omuni school farm. No metal garia. Na koto market.
Konya beza we from force so dia. Ene we school.
Obedi o mo a.
Beza bia be nim no. No e from force che obi a.
O dia o. Onya emo e be dia
school mu ne ayuo ne ayi ni nyina. Aden.
O dia o mo se mu ide. Na koto afri about dia ba. Entino your society na gasa no. We are not setting our priorities right. Yeah. It's as if we don't know what we really want. Any economy. O can say be me crew say at least omo dey about emede. O could draw so only pay within the month. We see the following day.
Yeah.
The community supported to bury.
Fantastic.
Onya day to freedom per day. At the first week of every month.
And omo ye ni nyina bom. You see a lot of communities adopt it
because ekuna efrim no obia ye webusuani one way or the other.
Exactly.
Enti hona de na obekọ na hona de na onko. Every akra na okọ village no asaba fu enkwanya ezio. Ekwanya uska be say. Enti eba ne sana okọ eye bako a wako bia de. Sometimes every year since the community to go through a nipa 5-6 ewu. Nanka you would expect say the whole community will come together at the playing field. Na ye ni na bo. Ubehuna ye we asore wa ha ye we keep you ha ye we enti na wa yo ho
na ye kra de be dia be so sad park ne kra obi mpeso na o che and obe prefer say public road no obe block it koje permit just obi ye ne de
sanya me nyina no. You see the local government ministry of chieftaincy and what have you.
Yes.
National House of Chiefs.
There should be
a conversation.
Yes.
There should be a national conversation.
It's important.
Call the stakeholders together. National House of Chiefs, the ministry, chieftaincy ministry, and religious affairs. We should have a conversation, and then panel a priority. Because you know, I can't abrich only pe who they come from funeral home for we. One here, only pan go for any home until I saw them one idea. It be a casket club home. No maybe be a akosi nipa. Okwa nipa 5-10 and I was a metro go say nobody is there.
Is it China for no morning kitten cry the do mo de be wi ase in China for. Say say papa ne be wu ama me ne be wu a okọ na ye eyi. O my design toy nipa no said o tie na na ahihye ne de na de na besifie. artificial intelligence you cranty ni din obetuma bo din ni ade ade popo mu nyina busua no mu nyina mudin na otimo wa wo ya artificial intelligence ya hyehyɛ no say
I just still awe so nipa ne wo
nipa no bon so si ho so bia be kono nipa ni si ho si akonwa mu such na for we
but Fred, the other things what I mean say the Western world and how they do their funerals. Now, in a country where job creation is a major issue, and as the funeral value chain and the economy we've created around funerals, and jobs are not quite creative, massive. And if we are not also careful, streamlining, cancel,
I think
there were consequences on job creation.
I think that the point you have made a very, very valid point.
Yes.
But to me, and conclude just on the face of it, these things call for some detailed research. Some detailed research. You can say scan economy is stimulating the economy, stimulating the economy,
growth in the economy.
But sometimes you are spending the resources at the wrong place. And you put all the resources together. Now, check the impact is having.
Yeah.
Visa can be investor same in capital in another productive sector. How come na kabe bano? E bia na keso sin we. Obetimi na be more regular. Ese bia na ekoso ha. So it calls some detailed research. Because na onipewu ngofo ho na so no mefa adaka no no mu yasa omo no mo de sa no
and also useless expenses we betime
one farm amba na yancha amba yasa ya wasmato onipa na ba be de fo no the way oba afina say e ba on be see omo glass house
near
the final the cost and then as I say kwe ni ho some of the coffees kwe dey ba ana esi amafo some of them are metal I say dey nyedua and for it to decay the environmental protection for no meaning a human why fasa nyama now watch it you know obi see the rate at ye wo nepa and the way success sano we need to do something. I know of one community na normal penifoni na tena ka say free obi wu a ye mfa block mfa ntu
edano biom okay
ye nye concrete bia wo esoro biom
edano so
onipa ni wu yakosie no yasili asan because as if you know ekoye cemetery biom so if the hope say within a few months year bia no na adike
now ye the obi dia ba be
so that's why people are moving, communities are moving to because I say we she me say me call a ye bi wo e fa na cemetery bi wo awodo me ha na say na me ni akai wo hwe coffin bi pa ye di ba ho afia di coffin de tu amnem wie no eno ma fa nduane abobo ena ye bubu coffin
meanwhile there's a coffin around 50,000 Ghana cedis
because yes ye bubu a anajo no o be yi fundi atum normal
tam coffin de
to ma say na sa
no
so
it is not 500 million
can we families now start thinking this way like you rightly said in your microphone virtually the same coffin e do biare ko ya de ko na de banner can families and communities start thinking it's for the cameras and for the pictures no and they learn by one nice coffin now ya de be ya public show ni fan ni na de ayewie emre no so na do private burial no say ho do bi eni obi enti na ya bobo ato na de be na ya rapid accomplishment so it can be on bi we need to really have a conversation around this subject.
Coffin on the average, buying coffins for 20,000,
50,000, 100,000. That's too much.
That's too much.
SAS Canadian can bet me in the community. You go to a whole community now, you can say, now on water pump, on this source of water, your community.
Yes.
Pipe way. Yes. Next pump, now say, sometimes 5,000. And for 3 months, 4 months.
It's enough funerals, our cost or whole budget, no?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Just to buy a pump, the whole community and me too. But funeral
it's too much.
And you know,
so
it's about our priorities. It's not really just about funeral. There are several things.
Dressing and they are not connected.
Sure.
former MP for Atebubu Amanti, Honorable Amwako, Kofi Amwako, former regional minister.
Yes.
Was he from Opoman? Sani from
a year contracted. Obi.
Even this Kenya, the domestic pressures.
Yes.
Yeah, mami, Mbaya, Tamamoko, a ye. A year be of a copy and Huntama.
Tuma.
A year be of a
confirmed.
Oh, when I made the call last week, mentioned a year be of a captain.
And then tomorrow, they went on the folk cry 1 yard 50 Ghana.
Eti Fanessa, I think I could pump. Meanwhile, this same mammy at he, ne back to a tifia. ABS got because to cry there. What I'm suggesting
is more chantuma for proper and easy identification. Yatiasio. But yenyan in such a way says will be a family member. Not when to me and yes, it will be a repeat. That is my point.
Apart from that one, once a year, you should say family member
when Timan Tobin. One of a person here who wants to fine, would always see away. But a man no standard say so will be a yes as any pan
Obi say Obi, good day. In Russia, where I study, I have friends who are from well-to-do families, and yet they choose to wear just ordinary t-shirt for weeks. And yet we, the Africans who are struggling to survive, rather dress to impress them. And the mindset as a man afraid can into ubeko a Bruchian or Russia. The ordinary Russian from a well-to-do family over here no lectures. Or say jeans t-shirt but African designer in the cardigan or cardigan a branded cardigan and also no a
branded Obi hear you Obi or law school Ghana how law school now be called lectures now one she suit and bon tie and they don't call lectures and you know
oh shirt and young crowd me fan call lecture theater.
What is the meaning of all these things now then I say, "Okay, class, no more. Time now, when I go see the amount."
But the students will say, "This is some tidy day."
No, so these are the things.
Say black, who say
this
will say.
Obey say, "Enyashe." No be one student there. Ofi baby, ofi frete no. Ono nika. Ono uba grant me febi. Now we butter ting. No share blast it. No na. Me kwa have me collectors. Are you mad? Why? What is wrong with us? I mean, I just not correct.
We say, Obi, I'm glued to your station, and you know why? The guys are really speaking as matured Ghanaians and not politicians, even though they come from both sides of the political divide. I love politics and constructive political debate, but trust me, let's bring these national conversations every Tuesday afternoon after your community concern segment on the Ekosiisen show. Thank you. Anyway, a very, very important issue. Where's Obi? I just love the discussion you and your panelists are having today. I just saw this video on Facebook about fantasy coffins, and some of the coffins now coming up. You know, it's unbelievable. And who design in Kwampo Nanke Buone Cry moderator. Now the amati ashoki me cry drone shots no apart from camera baby tra video abewe boy see the drones ne ba ebe ma drone shot na 15,000 Ghana cedis. Yes
drone etime capture that make say bi mutimi jensan ne fetchire small drone na mo so tu fetchire o mo ta fetchire o san
ebe capture
is papa no dey send
eye video pa de anka ya de ebusuafo is there a video you want to watch over and over and over? It's something you want to forget so quickly and move on. And see, why do you have to spend money
the
on
investment now in videos and
this picture
photo shoot.
And
I said, and a backdrop for photo shoot too.
Yes.
Have you forgotten magazines?
Yeah, magazines.
What
I'm telling you.
You see, a brochures no see another competition.
Yeah.
Because here the
thickness
and the quality of the brochure just quality form.
The quality.
And then no brochure
and
no budget.
No depend the company now contracting.
Money amount.
So the you are this year magazine now no. The cost involved no. Charlie, any easy.
No, I think
the whole card
never be save.
Nah,
it is the standards, no.
We need one of the quickest business Abanyeska. and then me can be an alcohol. Oh, there, but more than alcohol, wow, much to baby.
Yeah.
Now, wow, ton or coffin saw. Oh, ton tadi.
Now we're rent house. Now canopy.
Masa cash
it's a crazy money.
Because like yes,
it's a whole industry.
It's a whole industry every weekend. And
no, it's not make us say maybe an industry player. Now meaning say okay, Ghanaians have appetite for good fantasy funerals. Sure. I would also do things that they be our wet appetite.
Yeah,
it is in the interest of the business guys in there. And they say, "Charlie, come over here, you know, more jackram." Because me know, say me the business I'm into any buffet.
Sure.
We na me ya me so me be serve me no me empire me body say Charlie they be a man for you no be ne be
omo ton adaka isi
efuna adaka fo ne ade
accident ya na omo bo ho afode e wa so what the me say ya dwene na wodwene a wonte ase
say
because accident esi efunu no ado
na akọ bank say me koji
loan and they say it's the normal
na me da akọ ye
it's the norm now it's the norm
no but one yen is
what is that
you can't perform the funeral rites because it's money. I'm telling you, a whole lot of.
And as you see, now Ashanti region, ewu njade na ube una pan sisi mani tri so ne. Ja. Na no so say no so companies wo omo a ebe package ya hye ne oma no pan ni mu ama a brand ne kama ya pe ma no omo so oma omo recruit ya like omo workers. Ne de ade na soa omo e ba bebo kete e wa ade na se omo so into the value chain no the opportunities in there is crazy. And nuntina man common die na kwakwa bibi e wo ho because if se wo hwe kete fo no nko adwuma e what that line obehwe omo anu aduane obehwe ensa obehwe decofo obehwe canopy rentals
big in there but I can say a big in that there's no choice about it. People are making so much money from it but as a society no moment interest in all the resources that goes into this industry no and you're very very productive for the state and
good question. And there
can we repackage the same thing in a different because at the end of the day one you take out ebusiano one share die bi na no papa si atu no e na yekoton one share they are doing the year at the expense of unkola na ebusiano me go to school.
It's true.
What I say? So in as much as yes, people within the industry players are making some money, no. And we looking at the flip side of it. Say if it been have it. We can still have our culture and exhibit our culture through other culture means, not necessarily tied to funerals.
And the other thing important, and for me, the biggest issue in here, all the businesses in this value chain. Obia no because and say wo kwa pay rentals wo ko renting konya receipt ko mo man obia no number 1 na kwa ma VAT receipt it means wo muntu ya tax
obia no tax must
free money free and this is a huge industry I can ho asem a small industry the money is involved because imagine say me betwa drone shot maba me wo me drone you give me 15,000 150 million one funeral no tax nothing free money
so how is the state benefiting from
all this no aduane because na aduane no
me wa tazabo income
yes okofa buffet na wa charge wa so mo charge per head in the office say you know ke oba 7 nipa 1,000 nipa 500 na ya bo and also tua cash free money
yeah for cry 60 cedis per head
yeah, I know the assistance is not
the no dear no
and no take away obi Sita or Hamburg in Germany. I rate today's show as one of the best due to the topic and the non-partisan nature of the discussion. Sometimes let's go this way. Thank you guys. Thank you, my brother. For Germany. You know, we say Obi, Ghanaians are very rich, but we don't realize it because we don't track our expenditures. All the fantasies we crave and spend on during funerals, pre-weddings and weddings, baby showers, and naming ceremonies is a whole capital jetray in chi for some entrepreneurs. Bennett Amwa Danso Ewayawaso here in Accra. Where's Obi? What Fred Agbenyon is saying about Gan funerals is not wholly true. Gans have what they call Donyo party. And that is not different from the funeral craze that has engulfed the country in the last 25 years.
No, but the only thing I'm saying is, often time
yeah.
I'm for common and decor.
For the Bonyo party.
For the Bonyo party.
Oh, okay.
I'm like families and our friends.
Family, no?
Yeah.
Yes, more than 7 man yamu table, no 7 on amotio.
Okay.
Like it's a whole party. It runs through the night. I'm for Germany, you know.
The entire burden is not on the family.
Really on the family. The family will still cook something for other visitors, but majority of the people will prepare from their homes. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, and to me, say almost they are not like they also do it.
Sure.
But Ghana had the geographically speaking, no, middle belt, no. A year or more, no, more expensive.
Yeah, more expensive.
Now I say, I can't for you now. There's something even that can't culture. I say, the whole Ghana sem. Now I'm just saying, I can't. In what time we agree now? I didn't know anything called now.
That now 1 week, no. Now wake
Yes. Now she be a new
1 week.
Even those of us who are from voter agenda changes now. Obi will pay. Yes, yes. But me, what those things never existed.
Yes.
Now could do now watch now.
It's not like a funeral.
It's a whole funeral.
It's a whole
funeral. Just say.
But announcing extra will say amount for strategically. A pricky amount for fantasies and appetite. Into no okay, near real funerals.
Yeah.
It is okay, Ghana for pay. It can we also trigger way around 1 week. And because it's here 1 week, 1 week now come main funeral and a difference. It 1 week no so be for canopy. 1 week no be buffet. 1 week. And then so the obi a year or so we have artificial grass nibi. Na se ho nyina and nko aka
astrotef because it depends the size of
people are behind the scenes pulling strings just to make sure say an industry is created.
I'm telling you. Yeah, the one day observation.
1 day observation, beba.
Depending who you na busuani share na nkrofo aba.
It will come.
One of the maybe because say Oko even someone like voter region. That's what I'm very familiar with. En kan ye na ti se bebre o. Obi wu ya ye we keeping. Ade ache obi akofia kodwara ba na yakwa sorry. Yakwa sorry be na nya fa nipa nya komusie ba.
No.
The funeral is actually finished. Those days was like that. It is now as if you could see any panic bar. After Nebusia, bet na say ye. It's a borrowed thing that is not coming from.
And a wufu som no. As of one be also just when your microphone now. She say
so who are na harvest me gap one. So ebi omo ye harvest no na omo
ma prolong ade na
na say onya ho sa wa sorry dem ho
exactly
but no so for so as na always when as for so nyama bia sometimes a hardre e ye nsem e ye ni even marriage ceremonies o ko do na say ma offering na yes you offering
yeah
obi akoma wie no
who you almost say
after America say and they are sorry offering
we are sorry offering
second offering no
and family
we was kind of okuta no now the man
sorry no I say ka family dey no credit kind
me na me ya ye no offering any on Saturdays
so you was off be
me ya sorry ba me so me kwa sorry na e fa na say bibia to me na to me na papa na sorry be gina na ye di aboa me a especially when the church service is not taking place in the church auditorium.
Exactly.
Because if it's taking place in the church auditorium, can make a case electricity be using any insunti. But this can sometimes me fear. And
I saw in the instrument.
No, but so why am I a member of the church?
I'm not a church member.
Why am I a member? Because I've also contributed to the church.
Exactly.
So this is the honor you can also. You know,
but it tells you what I was talking about people behind the scenes trying to create a whole industry. Into the church would also plug in and because me can see a year be chebi kwan so ho baby na your Methodist sorry them apparently no more ye or my harvest for more sorry na could do level be in your software your opinion no kind say ja onya ahoho sei e wana sorry them had that it is a yabade or the ne how we tree sorry that you move sini ja or the raising the funds
of course
you understand it is see ano obi a pekwan a because nipa na obe no aduane nipa obe canopy nipa obe we e benefit a then
a business kasi o.
Big time
business. But the pressure no is on the family.
Yeah.
A one make sure no say family no adiato when you know say yakoboa o. Ube no ye ja omoka.
Na mo put this
because someone na first can never spend.
Sisi ampon Fred, sisi ampon say a year na wie no. Sisi a 1 year anniversary how a man for a year no sisi a. Sisi even 1 year. 10 years.
10 years. Me dem na 10 years na ye okay.
10 years no crazy see a massive idea. 10 years no see a massive ye chantoma.
Yeah.
10 years you be call na 10 years be dinner. 10 years. Massive. It's not a joke. Where's Obi? I think we should have a national policy on funerals as a nation. For all you know, the person who passed needed something small to solve his medical bills and may not have had help.
You know.
Eric from Tema. And anyway,
I think that there's a regulation. I think Mortuary and Funerals Act, no.
But
no have to go through and see.
Yes, maybe a regulatory funeral. So where's Obi?
None of this ever keeping down much now.
Yes.
They wanted to use price to deter people. But those who are determined to do it,
But Obi crowd, there's some shocking statistics about Osi Obi. Please, this is important for your discussion for today. Could you believe that according to the World Bank statistics, 67% of foreign remittances to Ghana go into funerals?
It's true.
Believe me,
not fact.
We are really sick.
Not factories, not in the
I'm telling you, it's true.
Ghana is the only country in the world where we have professional wailers for hiring. Think about that. And if this data is to be believed, then we would verify and see. But if 67% of foreign remittances are going to funerals,
but I wouldn't doubt because
from the face of it.
Wait, how just can you free?
For the face of it,
I know I'm why not just get free no.
But
that is even more serious because your remittances are costro. You can say contribution to GDP from way good and going to productive sectors.
No. Exactly.
Consumption.
Pure consumption.
Finish. And now make us say yes. The AE is an industry. A man for be benefited, but we need to do a proper research into this. Then finally, as I say, can I hear this shame no? And you be a fatana. And as I scan it, because another thing more. See, we should get to a level where if you get a whole community, funeral home be the
answer yes. Grounds be a standard place.
Now say a particular neighbor boy any roofing minute pata na ya boa pata because here na nipa be we anyway enti ye bi be say okromo bia no aha na ye enya fi na ye ko talk canopy enya fi we can start
thinking along those lines.
We need some local leadership. What you say and get a community people to
buy in. It's true. And I think that's a fantastic suggestion.
No, but I think no community because your community centers are
and you are be now.
The
challenge is urban centers no.
Urban centers not a problem.
Urban centers we don't have those places.
We don't have it.
No necessarily you have to go for the canopy. Canopy means when you canopy be keke. And no with the advent of these astroturfs, no, is there a crowd now? Am I at the end of the crowd because now with the astroturf, no, say Uber canopies no was why F.
And no one
yeah. Is there a canopy or something?
Astroturf no cost no.
Astroturf so be rent it. You have to pay.
Oh, there's a shop bill Palace Mall. And no juma no.
Per hour per 2 hours so.
Yes. Bill on the bemount.
Per hour per another per hour per 2 hours so.
Really?
Yeah, so rent an astroturf now. Yeah.
Are they couple ball?
Even play football on it. They rent for you per an hour.
What's up, Obi?
I'm going to the whole day. The
You better land the baby. A better problem.
Because that's where we are going. That's where we are going. Because you see, 1 week already. Because it's here, 200,000 1 week. Main funeral no 400,000.
One day.
No person
Now one day, Obi. Me I be having our reason.
Our reasons we another major
cost of
crazy issue
now in this country. You have no idea. And
our crowd their choice.
No, challenge that pressure.
That's a choice.
No, I'm coming. Our their choice.
To do a grandiose funeral, is a choice.
No, listen.
It's a society that put that. This is not you.
A year never tough family. I bet Thomasu. A year the bet Tobus anymore. A Busiano ascribe status. It's not an achieved status. It's any choice. I bet Tom. What did they mention? Our area be a bit me our say me worry by ordinance. Obviously, bet me our be customary.
Yes.
What did they mention? So it depends. That's what I'm saying. I do their choice.
The customary, we need to promote customary more.
Of course. It be a fee ordinance no idea unbearable. We need to discuss it. We need to discuss it. Yes, what they mention
more.
No, oh dear.
I was saying promote customary.
And themselves shall 40. Why because my bet na Hannah me say Ghana is a polygynous society but I don't know who compose Hannah yana me nyeba me papa mo ne me nana no mo sa nyema no mo de to
na wo munyi che
no munyi che so it learning from history no I'll be compared to so never channel
we compare to a conversation for another but I think I agree with Fred on the cost of marriages also and then because a lot of the youth
all the ceremonies
spend the time on social media and then the photo studios no in the obecha wedding no more package 1 minute video no more there and who some of the videos the glamour it who ja I say no me warrior me kuno no masa wa anye we bia ma aware no
bride ni groom no bridesmaid ni ho for
after na kopa mo
na competition no it 10 mm 10
mm 20 upa mo susu na da mo ye pa mo ba de nya
unya enamfo mo trimu ya na mo afa sa aka no anya sa de wawu
what you say
e na sa wo be ma no kra ka sa wo nya oba ne be su agu so mama e wo sa
wo university wa nya adwuma o salary
4500 e wo sa wo ye wedding 200,000
yeah 200 a wedding 200,000
does it make sense
how is the meaning of that and see from the word go pay it comes
and e be mo so kwaji loan e de ye
wedding
kawa keke no de ma oba no say we na me de show oba no bisa ne bo keke we ya to amakoi
right wedding can we mention we na me
aware no akoto baby kawa keke the cost adaya e cheap the ring ni e cheap okobisa ye no kra no e je say in 5,000
now 5,000 is cheap.
The pressure on and I can say is the society that is putting pressure. See,
the societal pressure
is too much. A lot of young guys in the man, BP, when you engage them one on one, the people are going through. One day we should have time and have this conversation
and change the narrative because
the pressure that's on people in this country.
I know the corruption in
you need to live up to. You need to do the now. Charlie, it's not a joke.
It's too much.
It's too much. You see, we are not setting our priorities right. And you said that.
But ultimately, we're Konyana nanom de no. Koyo oba ne ho.
Da bi na honorable obey ordinance marriage mpo. So ordinance marriage na asori dem de ye wo ho. Ye wo court de nso e wo ho. Ni nyina ye ordinance marriage.
Yes. Only way witnesses. Ozonya pempi on so fini.
What we don't do now.
No na ma say wedded.
Also are there also
wedding.
Matese sofo Charles wo so wo quick intervention bi enkomo ayedi. Sofo akwa ba Ekosiisen so ni boko de.
Obi me Joso eburu. Na yedi kan enhyeda nya bokosa me anso so ade akomani den pa na me chairman ya calling aga zo on to chairman me ya Fred so me chairman be eba da ne me tie me sia na me dwan ni mo program yi but me tie mu no mani age pa so da niema affect ni pa na e be how hu pa so be ni pa so we discussing is now mine you need sibra ebebo the many Collins and many Fred and so can you and crepa oshe a year a man yen a mamre tana warrior our culture a year so sanity to be our kind of person see that it's this year now and next our fanfare na abeka ho akwa ise to be a bush ni wa wanye bia I guess ono anya oga okuri mu. It is a mokana the unnecessary pressure ba. Nkofo timi ko bobusia be ye na ka ba be da ho. No munye obi obetuaka. Na jom ko pon japade no ye kwa kotuaka. It doesn't make sense. Because even though Bible say that enipa wuni and sin here upon bakra ho pato ten. Na get enipa wu a befitting barrier enye the fanfare but befitting barrier say ya hu nipa na amu ne siesie no na yakokora ne yie and the chest you see obi ye na na de after say kwa ye no he say o see na ye dey go fortuna konwam bi tra ampa so na o twa ne ho round na ye cigarette si bia no ye adaka that the same ye bi so just eniema hudo bebre na coffee enye that type of cocoa num ne hwan num ne basket num ne just aduma obi ye no since when e better then so sabi obi ye ju radio station na me pagu na ofere ne kra ne ye the console aye adaka ana ye the microphone aye adaka na shim what sort of joke is it about that na nipa na wo wunu ka ye nini but ehu be hia se enipa wo wunu ye be dinini na ya pa ne kra bre papa
Asempa FM
many aje na even though me su se see abeno kasa because ade atomani yi but enam se ade atomani na eye eyi sem na se see akra no de be namu se see akra no e kire se en ye see ehwe kwan ye factor na ye yi no ye be ye no me wo be kuma emra ho ye mo ensawan tra a certain threshold enti obi ko ayi asina se wa monsam bade kase kra na kadiedim ena ko ayi bi asina se ye bonsan 10,000 20,000 I had the happen ko ade be kofi because o fere se ko odi ye the 500 wedding e be se odi ano eye niam I had dream ti nyame hira hu ye da mase se eniam hanipa yes ba kofo busia because of that internet obi ade hie wu age say abusia no hia ye kokoje bosia enti ene ye wo sabi adwumaku a aba ombo bosia for ayie ombo bosia ombo no for ayie ebi so kra ne eto ayie no maye onye ne busia ni na wato ayie na waye owia na wafa ho mpaso that is why baby o man na kwakoduru ti de make va kan nyame hira wu
ya te so for
okoto aso ntse mushim
ya te
amokoto educate yen
amen
na ye pa bigiri se bebo yen I pressure ya nkase yakofa ade abatio
ya da se pa nyame hira so for Ekosiisen so ha ya Asempa FM yes
akrabio na ade ba ko so ya ye ni ba na ye fan fani nyina awia
yes
ebia nipa na ewi waja ne yere
ene ne ma
ene ba we
eno e ho de masa de mo
be mo si we tire bia no emfo bia
wie de mo be mo ho de mo amasa
ebusia unnim na wanye ebusia papa bia oba no se okunu ewu aja
e ma na mo bo
e kire se ya jankola ne nyina de ato oba no nko so obi ni ho obo ano se nkola ne be didi o se nkola be ko school se na adan engine Obi, this thing we are discussing is a serious issue.
Obi, yeah, can no muntia, yeah, be form task force.
We need to look at it.
Yeah, be call no militancy way. So that you see, sometimes Ghana for no, e bi mu aswodin bi. Yeah, can ya appeal to appropriate authorities. Say ya nana no munsi nkonwa o munsi nkonwa. Edru ba bi ne ehwe na munsi nkonwa ya be form task force. Ya be hwese ya be barricade say hu na ekoso was animal. Because at the end of the day no a problem ne ba beto society no ne community ne so eti benefit be na yenya because any partner or no we bank teacher ni na wa koji loan na omo de akoye no omo ntimi go to scan na e de na obe afa nkwada no no obe hwe kwan obe fa so a obe mo be e wo school ni ko tua we fa broom hwan bra fa we bra what them change no corruption no person tackle eniema bi a ye de abebata your lifestyle no. And no
corruption. Yes, and we complain when corruption is happening.
Exactly.
Because we've created system corruption.
System no the pressure
now so we are juma now salary 4,500. Una we busua nani.
Yes.
A year ba the minimum budget about 200,000 Ghana cedis. Where are you going to get that money from?
I say Obi, you bet me I am now Ghana.
Where are you going to get that money from?
Say Obi Wua, don't keep your body in the mug for more than 1 month.
1 month credit also.
1 month credit also. You bet me here.
Mansunti.
I'm telling you.
Mansunti.
2 weeks. You bet me them run about.
If you be share a fridge musa.
Because I was coming 3 years. Especially. I
am for no 20 years. It be 20 years.
30 years.
Not sebi 20 years.
Not share fridge.
Na ye de obi de share no share fridge.
Na yetuaka every day.
Na yetuaka bill no be ba no.
Me we go bushia so hia bubu.
Ya be levy community no. Ena one betua ntokua ena one betua ho ahwan ese hunu nko an ekoso. What dem chen. Eti no say ye kan na ya to ye bo kan no. Ena no ye appeal ye kan kakrakra. Epanifo no mun sin konwa. Na mun regulate because Article 11 of the 1992 Constitution, sources of law, no customary law. It's one of the yes. Eti yen hwe hono na mun say ye wo mra wo man nim. Ye pepepe ade we ye fi say ye necessary
because and for now the tenants here you try wakekeeping.
Yes,
it can be done. Yeah, you try wakekeeping. It is here on 1 week. 1 week no e was here na say masa ebusua na tenants wo fie it will be nipa 10 be 1 week here dey say date me boy
yes and as already so na obi foreign coffins foreign coffins
yes
enum pese enhwe enwatu na enka
foreign coffins
na edifia abreche ba ha beton nyina enhwe watem na
enka go import na no so cry free
enso free
if na ka no mu
China for no ye bia mo
to free abreche o
shan no
adaka budo na free abreche na beton ha adaka na ebesie nipa da go she fm no ye betray
oh you don't know
you don't know you see foreign coffins no moto okrom nyama we nyina betimi de mrada tototo why should we import coffins to our country for burial
ice block you first there
and ye befa ye ndua ye befa ye timber de kwa abretria nom de akoye coffin dem de asabre na akoton aboden ne de akoshe fm.
So how do you grow with certain
like this as a people?
Atina ya baby a yamfa ya adwene nko so a ye twempen for adwene say
we need to look at it.
Social sector na problem da ho no we are not seeing it. And funeral rice no one of the problems I encounter. This year obi hu no say mu say you are mourning. What is the mention? Chese nke ya rehudie mu twadwo chese obi aba ye hu no say
and the body disco crest
but say nya sa na tie
na haze no onim ne bo haze na ba na
yeah as a limo na ye de
awrade onim ne bo current ya
sir
aya ko bisa no bo na re so tie Ghana is akafra se be se bo yare wa ha se be nya ambulance ko ade wa tum dia ko hospital no ye nya bi ye do be she taxi ye do be she pick up uria
ye be rent
ya ko rent limousine ne de ada kan dia shame ne do ko ehunka. What are we doing as a society?
We say na flag is so to say Ghana
ye udi grad ya bo udi dia bo
oh and say
na
that so any pay mo bo
we say Obi, how about monies spent on pre-birthday photo shoots? The youth are wasting money.
I'm telling you
on these
this
things.
Generation,
Samo US of A. Samo, thank you. Where's Obi? What kills me is that these funeral organizers are making a hell of money, but are not paying taxes. Most of these gone too soon. Dead people are from marriage pressures. Obi, thank you. This one says that Obi, I think the funeral fantasy is becoming one too many in our various societies, and it's high time we nipped this in the bud. Special regards to Ivy Sly and Tuga of Asante Barbers, London. This one says, Obi, I love the discussion on the issue on funerals in the studio today. Obi, do you know politicians benefit greatly from funerals nowadays? If you are a politician today, just pray your father or mother dies and you are a multi-billionaire already. I think we should draft a policy to curb the unnecessary cost on funerals. Greetings to Honorable Dra Emmanuel, next MP for Upper West Achem, Eric Tetefroku, Deputy Communications Officer of the NDC, Ewo Upper West Achem constituency, and Odiwe Abre. We say, Obi, come to the north and see. They are also spending like in the south. I witnessed a funeral where they killed 10 cows.
Hey, I will not be surprised.
For goat and sheep uncountable. 10 cows funeral.
And one cow na
no, you know more. One cow I'm saying
20,000. A cow, 20,000 cow.
In the 10 cows,
10,000. Nti obi 100,000.
10,000, 200,000, 2 billion. Ojani a yimai.
Yemfa de na chacha ni soro. No de yemfa no 10,000.
10,000.
That's a lot of good money.
A lot of money.
Guys, me share your business.
Yeah. Where's the Obi?
Seed capital.
Funerals are a big deal, especially for us, the Akans. Family heads shouldn't use the budget allocated for a simple palm wine funeral to organize an extravagant one with champagne. People should cut their coats according to their cloth. And I'll say, every funeral where people cry excessively indicate that there will be trouble afterwards. Obi, why should this call for a national dialogue or discussion? Is the organization of funeral an individual family decision or a policy by the traditional area or state? Let's leave it to families to decide how they want to observe the passage of their loved one. And to suggest that some people conduct their funeral a certain way and that others must emulate same is interesting. Different people have different cultures. If there are excesses, let's deal with them, other than making it seem like how we conduct funerals is senseless. How one chooses to depart with a loved one forever should be an individual decision. Starsky, somewhere in New York, and what do we have? But I think
individual constitute the state. Let me tell you.
Yeah, and in even some communities, and that's why you have regulated areas. Or he needs to be cast the first
community based
community decision.
Yes.
And those things are there. And untina ahemfune cha we keeping mu. They were traditional
of chief can play a major role in this.
Nyame yadoma
Ochina
ye dabone.
Sure.
Ochina ye dabone no. Ontimi enkwafu. Ontimi mine, ontimi nye bibia. You observe no.
That's right.
What is the mention? Tisa any dear we no. Edientina ye preserve us at days be ochina dabone no penifo. Wo ni die mu no. Ya nanam ni die mu no. Nim say. Enye de bia na abaye adwuma.
Yes.
Need to rest.
Pressure na ko sebi asase na wodidi so no. Adru ba bia ono so no so home.
Wo ni padua na kaza so ho.
Wo ni padua no so no. Se wo no wo home a ye de mra beba ma ba home.
That's it.
Yeah.
Eti no say yet me observe sa niema uwe nyina dia. Then is an incumbent on na say ye nyina ye gitum say funeral expenses. Afedie
Obi, you guys are doing well on the topic today, but I beg you, please leave the photography business out for us. Don't spoil our business, please. Nana Jemmy, aka DFF. Charlie. Where's Obi? Enjoying the discussion, and you should continue talking about this regularly. Why observe 1 week, month, and you observe the 1 week, month after the person's death.
Yes.
What's the impact or importance? King Charles, Canada, and then the idea when the idea is that will be 7 days later, and then 1 week, maybe 2 months after the death. Yes, 1 week.
So it tells you say a special observation.
A special funeral. And 1 week.
Your home breast and your beya.
Yes.
Abusua bi also so a omo ma oti ase say 1 week omo nsebu bibia nsuo nko a. So the mention. But no kra no ebi mu beba no etukwan no mo hwe wonim. Omo hwe omo feche ne ba wo say otimi bi ma wo.
E was all my bibi su. We say Obi, good evening. Let your participants also dovetail the discussion into funeral tourism. That's the only way some of us have traveled through this country. Ascona, Ebenezer down, down summer.
Okay.
And the funeral tourism in how it boosts local tourism.
No. In terms of display our culture.
Yeah, we are not saying
it's
that.
so beautiful, that one. No, and you'll be any.
Yes.
But what you are saying, cut the cost. And it's important. Sabinya Ghana one year
you individual say bia wadan for bia on Nico school.
Yes.
Neighbor people northern region. Ote crown northern region da. And me take advantage. Na ma kwe yi. Them da ko northern region.
Yes.
You are not putting that cost on that family.
Exactly.
Watch us here. But say obe from Adam say, "Oh, pe hotel to mama." Obi mpo da baga say mebe ye nkere to ticket ma me kwa na me mbre yi. It doesn't make sense.
Because how the end there was say a sheka say me and me ye no. me nan fofo a e ba be jam na wasem na me pe baby mu nyina
na koda.
I mean, why do
because
people
it
do
depends on the level of their income. On say obi o and the company not them na kasa no. Mfifi bonnet wo. What is the mention? Eti wonu say asem to wa. Almost have a bed in my own. Almost I was a mobile baby when you want to see obey you free mono. Almost only bibia. It's almost ban no so almost that brim almost bibia. So what you are suggesting is say a year dear obi
we have to do it, but
of course
moderately. Where's Obi in my hometown Jacobu Biribi woman Jacobu Biribi woman 1 week celebration is from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. We don't serve anything.
Fantastic.
3 hours.
Exactly.
They fix it date. Obi anko.
Eti bi oba ya na busia panyini no. Abusia chia me e dia to dwase bi papa ho akonchijo. Yakopon ya adom a da say ne be ye na ye.
Enti no ye nche. Ya na so nche. Obekotena say 5 minutes time dia.
Ensuo bi na ade koma wo mo a eno no de ma wo mo. Towards adom be ye
funeral no.
Oh, but ekoyete say as a 1.7 million asa. Na wo na rotweda kra mo di ye no enye kama. Na I said I'm just about two family ni so say eye be ye kese a ye wo obi ana wotweda. Oh, the bitch. Sansem we nyina yes adwase nsem a. Emfa so bia ni so. I'm telling you.
Kofi Adabo of Oriamanfo says, Obi, this issue is really good. Let's not forget the cost imposed on you, even by the external family. It's crazy. Now, Obi, the 1 week idea was to raise funds for the funeral. Yes. So more communities do not allow the serving of food and drinks, but just water. But now they
of course, I mean, so yeah, not just say,
is there one several no, even 1 week.
But so I can read, no, a bit more say, be more fresh, abba. And the expectation is that, oh, omo connect quadiasa, omo bedi di, obi omo promoting di.
Yes.
Into also to me pay bibi ma omodi. But nipa no ban no who say we any part of the culture. Obano ama na aduane a oni oni ase won ko gina ba bia anka ho ase.
Asisi ade masa wa ama aduane.
Exactly.
Hey, and ye dey ba.
It suggest you be ba say we individual decisions ni ade we should leave it to the family, no. It's untenable because one family ni den. Family unity no. Eno no we any community. Community na akeka na your mind.
Yeah, that's it.
You can't tell me say oh ye njai ebi mu no monya de omope. What you are saying is say ye uniform any uniform. With the exception, say your cultural differences. I know the mejitum, but say be a ofan I can say I can for ye. Say I can for ye. Ofano young fan say anguna for saying ye. Infant for I can for see all the meche no
not santimemo say no tune for a casse e mayenye 1 week. Grind for a year bia it won't
exactly I may say and I may say other me you know me intro na me can say me the petition be come on be come me
House of Chief must
yes I'm going to do that I will lead this
maybe we need to petition them
or hinemu tinase come on chemu nyina omo tinase no mo hunu say pressure na ba you for no so because asem to obi a marriage you're so expensive that I don't can't be an crofon warren. Very expensive.
Because you see, I know, Utumu say, Oma Court for about 10 years.
What court 10 years a day?
I just say, I don't want to turn your money. Because
they listen back.
Easy.
Obia court is almost so bad. Bonnie, what now? Court be 15-20 years. Oba komo ma wo mpanyim for.
So Becca is can.
Yes, he can go so there be na what on. Again, there can say. Sa de na ye expensive for amancrofo dem ye excuse ni ade na o na nka be ye na emu no bibi ni me ho no yes okay yati
what's our
ye den hye ye to kwa ade no e be ye very cheap ye nim say value
me da betini if ni ahwe ye ho
but na ye start our no on a canoe me no so no I don't understand why ye man ntiase ma me man say chale mommy enye bibi kitu e man ntiase o
ba bia o so be hia no be sa no abini should know say onya oba warefo that's the truth
saying
oba wonim say me income e bia ska be meje every month any ma fancy wonim now say me ko ye wed me ko bobu free bank na fan ko ye me ko warewa I just want ba ware
e ma de say na ma na ye o fe ma me ka say
e fe e fe e be bo pressure no hwe odi prayer na to be ma so no o chalonabo mamika kra wadanfo no ama no Fred wa ama obi no ama no na mpampa wakwa ne fefe na obi ase o no wukunu wa ya de o abomode mukoduru fie after 1 month na gari na mudi na munya hwa oba no obeja 3 months
no but
that's a man is breaking apart this
obey wedding na bukakobobosia
Bebre,
it doesn't make sense.
But that is a pressure in town now.
Because of the cost involved. Etina ye kase ye cutting cost. Any pano
cutting cost ni ye kase a man in pay my own cutting cost because cutting cost will mean say ope bridal party nipa 10. Now kase on for 1 per problem.
Problem. Ade anadam for be
problem.
We got to wedding ring we are or see me them good character and
white gold.
White
gold diamond.
Me gown no na question the gown no be one year we be
anything
can na make number wedding crowd o no be a be man crowd the tax ground to be da motor ground to be da
but so
rent what current theater na Prado na the what is the meaning of all this?
But why do you do that? Because mention
and the movie where the Raffin be from
Obi
na what na Prado mo dey wedding see anya izo
we see it is putting so much pressure on people. And to Yama be to be able to live up to the
exactly. And as so for no be
I was counting some young ladies well. They was talking to me, on your guy on Nantia and China was like, on your guy, no
guy pressure.
Oko far boy, we invest. The salary is 5,000 Ghana cedis. Also on top iPhone 14 Pro Max if I'm out. Ni boy high. More than 12,000. It's just like no press when the Diwanya Obeka 4 months at the 4 back of the amount. Auto phone here also pay laptop. Laptop on to also pay we. Okay, first can way. It's a bit no friend now. Oh, verity, on me for no quadja. No quadja. And to go first, I went did.
Sometimes, so here's where social vices are. You drive me sometimes you are driving through. Come here, I say every single community. Ewo Accra has it. First brand because
first
travel back cantonment every single community.
Is that the baby? It's terrible. It's not.
If you look at the number of the type of girls who are involved, young girls, and that's not okay.
They say
our security services Atemuda.
Hey, say so ma ba mo ye kra ba baby e.
Ekopie Melcom.
Say o ma ba ANC hosa. O mo to aso sa e ba.
Atemuda na ye.
It's Legon. I be the Pele Street walk.
Oh, okay.
Ekopie Ghana Link. Eko Melcom. Every oko ANC mo. Area ho nyina Obi. Hey, na me say 7 o'clock enyumre ko fa akra ma fa ye ready.
Aden.
Anopa 6 o'clock there be a me ba adoptive me pentem. Omo nko ye sila anopa no ga ma for jantra. And me say anyebra amra no esi ano obi atimi anopa bia na o mam djuma.
But you see I do hu bia otimi hu say nkwada no ebi so bebre so to kwan na ba.
Yes.
But sometimes when you look at them, no be sound say I say we cry me ma me no manage wa. Nka obeye okay. But omo ye so expensive say na dwene mu no ofi say ontimi sabie.
The honorable colleague.
It's your money. Brazilian,
but on a more serious note, Obi,
I think Mohammed said, Obi, the way boys know areas for this Accra here, like
Sewara. I think Sewara. Maybe I can never yet. What?
Obi, the marriage cost is the reason some of us are still single.
It's true.
Baba on himself Fred no so no. Because our real cost no me ade ya menti ase we no. Say our real cost no. Say any Oma the cost of getting married, yet the reason why you are not married. It's a problem for me.
But listen, you see, no, it differs.
Genuinely,
there's a time I don't want to mention name. Eastern region.
Maybe
okay, what there?
Genuinely, I won't say, and yes, yes, yeah, worry to buy beer can be worried.
Yes.
Ultimately, your bad beer, a year taste.
Yes.
On now pay.
Yes.
If you at the time now, she and the crown, won't you be a few in the background when you now, once I say call out, I near more deck.
Yes.
After the offering, a quay bushna, who could do fear. Now, say, or Papa be granted me interview. No, stress our background, no, and measure up. I'm penny about in about.
Exactly.
Also, offering, who are panning on my mini on our
Juma Ben now,
Juma Ben now, I'm penny about one back.
Yeah, my list.
I'm penny. Most obey so have a pen as that time. You're too for beyond ye. No be more fall in love there easy. Any who be catch no bet you. And at that point, a quaint your first car. Obey ya there. A bushan some
enti oni obi na ye adwuma e wo so twani pa
obeti boat
se sika bia ba be di ne hwe wo so okọ odekoto account mu a chale nhwese metimi dia ye we na and bebre na so de omani to gift ebeba wedding
na say
there's a
and then so enemy na ye be pie balloon into MC a obefa no chale balloon na ya hye we ya ye be pie balloon be 200
obi la pass
na yetimi de oba be tro na ye nimpa boa to obi tri so ye se wo tompa boa we say nsem hu no
obi me say abeka la pass mate ni a na oware o de waware say waware asemi aye kan boat ye driver no say one ni na kwada no ye adwuma no odi ni huni sikasem mu suddenly akwane tete boat sa odwuma on tiase oka bia so anase ontimi nyi anu ye not knowing say abaya na one ne ewo ho no a che say obetima ye ne ho ade a age so mo towe na say na ne papa ye ka and o de listen na brain Abranti a waso aware so de sebi asade no do ba bi I dey say who needs self control because of person worry na owia ne master what it boat
just to satisfy request from the family papa phone be should be reasonable
that's what I'm saying
and you turn oba no why and be j tablet papa phone be j tablet
o toto jacket nyina antisa wedding no kroma onu olumai na wonu sebi they say panyini bo akokora ne to ko amrante edim enne chese nkokora na aba nkokora we swag chese wo hwe bi mu attitude a odwene wa won tia
sure better be
chese
na so be man na wasa
obi unim some of these fathers and parents say won't mean is kanye wedding we are and that's why don't so aware here so won't mean is kanye sanya me nyina and they are not ready for marriage don't make sure ba no enti jai you see abrabo no your body ko enim enti ye wa abrabo bia na chassis
yes
enti bia na me wie school a afina manya me fair job
exactly
I said be me to me I'm better me settle down enti men can say mint me for 200,000 fan 209 fan your wedding na e chere say
mint me worry you know what kind of thing
ka ba no so ba no be kambo na emienu adwene ba ko a ye betimi anyi ade nyam actually obi sad dey kan me I interact with a lot of people these days, young people. See, this is a major concern. People want to settle down. Now, obey.
And then so no, say okay, aware no, mo betima koye fie de ne kakra bi. Unya ebusun omo ye reasonable. Papa ne maami omo ye reasonable. Mo betima koye fie de kakra. Mo wi a say ehwa a sofo ne betimi aba. Abe bless wo ho ama mo. Mo share ring. Aware ma wie ya ba be introduce mu to sorry for
first
ben na ukoye ne sa and we should also say this even some of the churches is why you know condition
those are the
condition farmer sorry them ma ye on worry
yamba
and enya kwa sorry them nso a uwie a buffet
of course
na say kwa dey sorry for ni bi dey bo an say ya omo space wa sorry dine nim you to set up
una be
decoration Charlie it's crazy
but I no cry why you sorry for there na mom na we as for no so because I know that this you know
things are true
party na nkasa eba
there you na wari akasa
reception no what na reception reception
say
our reception
is a cultural thing between two families
exactly marriage is cultural
our culture enya brofo there no marriage
is a union
the union between two families so once a family na kotena say agia tum say oh ye ba e wo ho ye nsa amagensa say ni semaja aweran ke ye wie this marriage I can want say mra ordinance marriage
ordinance yes
ordinance well there are a lot of young people who went into marriage and they have any understanding of what ordinance
Ordinance
marriage
marriage,
Exactly.
yeah, that's true.
They have no understanding.
Early marriage is a disaster.
Now,
And then
sometimes
it has dawned on them.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do.
No, sometimes one of the causes are every young man, at the law school, you unravel things you never thought of. A family law.
You see.
Sure.
The kind of things you'll be exposed to. Yeah. Now, you question yourself, say,
So
why did I
do?
choose this
Just-
form of marriage?
I'm telling
Why did
you.
I choose this form of marriage? It's
telling you.
crazy.
Obi.
It's crazy.
very
It's
complex
crazy.
also.
Very, very complex.
Nah, Obama.
To
They were
property
Nyame.
rights. It's crazy.
Africa,
It's crazy.
Africa, we
It's
are
crazy.
polygamous in nature.
Yeah.
You know, you're worried.
Yeah.
Don't do it about it. But the fact we must say sometimes, maybe I would do paper, so be not paper.
Kebio say we are polygamous in nature.
But of course, that's what we are.
Okay.
That's what we are. We are pretend we can pretend we can lie about it, but that's what we are. Anything I made this again, it's me make a second wife out of my body. Now, so tell me to make a wife, Bema, and go about my body. I was like, Charlie, we are polygamous purely and purely.
Obi, after spending these huge sums of money, she would wake up one morning and tell you she's not interested in the marriage.
Can you
All
imagine?
your money is
gone.
gone. Finito.
It's gone.
Coco, not Charlie, and your mind, no.
This is our Yankasa and Munyamshe. Yeah, this shit. Our Munyamshe. Obani be man in an. Say this. You teach you a man, to you the same man Munyam. Eti, I want a man or one say or now Munsusu and demand it.
Because you see a pressure.
Pressure and everything.
And see
What about social media?
Social media. Yeah, and I see I wouldn't say
say
our reception decono. Wouldn't say our reception decono.
Yes.
Decono baba be year reception we on. They say a decono the budget to her.
Decon. Now, hold on.
50,000 now they couldn't mean you.
50,000.
Now, don't you know the cost involved? It depends, baby. I person, yeah, you know.
Now, mom call renty, baby. I finish the two.
Yeah, finish the Jesus Christ. Anyway,
it's got to be good, bro. Yes.
We need.
Now, no, you're not going from so back. That's not
I don't put the say marriage. Any side issues. And I say what baby, I know there. Yeah, and there will be confronted with.
But I think I've enjoyed the conversation and the made
I am afraid of Yanka.
IMF they be na be kan because I think that's a very important subject we have discussed and
I think it's
just like your callers and people who have
good.
said no.
Occasionally
We should pick some of these social
Social
issues
issues
and discuss them.
It's true.
These are things it has no barrier. It has no barrier. Say NDC, so MPP, so it affects you.
Yeah.
And discussing the way
Abdul Hafiz said, Obi, marriage sensitization workshops should always be organized periodically by our traditional authorities and the church. Most young people have seen marriage to be like Hakamutubi. Abdul Hafiz. We say, Obi, 1 week celebration has also become an avenue for some ladies to find their loved ones. So, and note
now,
that
bachelor's night, wouldn't be bachelor's. It just you're right. Now,
Bachelor's night, no. Now, boys need
now, just a boys.
Obi, funerals are killing people. I buried my family member, and for 3 years, Obi, I've not been living well.
Yes,
you should understand.
He hasn't recovered. Yes. Issue
Oh.
After a son or Winniba, Charlie, after 3 years.
Now depression is forever. Ask some people like more go through.
And as a bank, they started so more tata.
So what be yeah, what they are impressing crowd for? What did they make? Hey, Papa, no, or a guy, you call na say
in our educational curriculum.
Yes,
there never be a while. The subject of marriage.
Yes.
And it's social issues well. We should put it from the very beginning of our
whether you imbue them with
orientation. We need to consciously change our orientation towards some of these things.
But Obi, some of us enjoy funeral foods especially the jollof and kinky.
Or a poor man. Do a poor man. Mammy
Ekosiisen Madam as a friend a parliamentary candidate my NDC will go on constituency. Honorable Collins also am quiet.
Yes. Professor Nana Pokwachi.
Yes, ne.
Echina ya odon.
Outdoor no UPS.
That's mami ma outdoor dada.
Sebi. Oti ya oti you running me. Ya running me outdoor no so ya o ya. Oti ya running me muti.
We ya kase bebe.
Muti mi running me besin there. Ya there be outdoor so ya o ya.